As you can tell from the title, these are my top 3 accessories for the Panasonic G9. Now, I've had the G9 for a while now, and I do really enjoy this camera. It's a great photography camera. It's also a very good video camera. It takes amazing 4K video. On the camera at the moment is the brand new 50-200 Panasonic LUMIX lens. It's a Leica lens, so it's got Leica glass, and it's a 2.8 to f4. I will be doing a review on this lens. This has actually been loaned to me by Panasonic New Zealand to do a review. And already I can tell you, I'm going to purchase this lens. It is a beautiful lens, super smooth, pin sharp, which all modern lenses are actually pin sharp. But oh, I'm going off track again. Let's get back to the accessories. Okay, the first accessory is this battery grip. Called a battery grip because it has a battery inside. So you get 2 batteries on your camera, so you should get double the length of time of battery power. Somebody actually called this a motor drive the other day. I've not heard that term for a long time, but no, it's not a motor drive, it's a battery grip. So the battery grip is metal construction, metal and plastic construction. It has a full set of buttons and controls on the side. The nice thing to do is when you take off the bottom of the G9, there's this little rubber gasket that protects the terminals. So you've actually got a place there on the bottom, on the top of the battery grip. The battery grip, it's the same as a Nikon battery grip. Unlike the Canon ones, which actually go into the battery chamber, you actually keep the battery in the camera, and then this just bolts on the bottom, like that. And then you go. You've got a grip on the bottom, you've got a grip for portrait mode. Now, obviously having a mirrorless camera, the whole reason for that is that you've got a smaller camera. The bodies are much smaller, and this does bring it up to near the size actually of a D5. It's only a little bit shorter than the D5. But it does give you better grip. I've got quite small hands. Oh, hang on, it's stuck. There you go, better, right. I'll say I've got average hands, let's just say that, not small. And even my little pinky has nowhere to go. No, it's got no home there, basically. So the nice thing with the battery grip, especially for shooting sports and portraits, it adds quite a bit extra at the bottom. So I can get my whole hand in there and it grips really nice and deep. And then obviously you can shoot it this way, which is when you're shooting, hang on, we'll turn the cap back to front. So when you're shooting like this, you actually got more control on the camera as opposed to holding it like that. So this gives you much more grip. Sorry, that's actually how I shoot sports. I turn the cap back to front like that. So when I'm shooting, or this way, it stops the sunburn in the back of your neck, which is quite handy. Okay, so we'll go away from fashion at the moment. We'll go back to the camera. The battery grip has a full set of controls, so you can custom function buttons. You've got weight balance, ISO, and exposure compensation. You've got an on and off switch, and you've got 2 dials. It's very well made, and there's also a button at the back here for back button focusing. Now, I do feel that's in the wrong place because your thumb moves away. Your hand sits nice and neat here, but your thumb moves away. So it would be nice if the actual button was here, because then you're gripping it, but you do have to bring your thumb away, which can be quite uncomfortable if you're shooting for long periods of time. It also has a jog dial as well. So that's the first accessory, which is an incredibly good accessory. So remember, when you take the grip off to put the gasket back on the terminals, if it comes out, oh, there they go, right. So we don't need that. And that goes in there, and that keeps it nice and sealed. Now, the second accessory is another really right stuff product. And this is the brand new L plate. This has only came out last week. It's been on order for a while. It was only released last week. It's the same as the GH5 and the GH5 plate I showed you before. It's more of a slim line fitting. And basically, you've got an Allen key built in, which has 2 magnets, which keeps it in place. So it's always got an Allen key on board. And it has a slide-in side plate, which I'll get to that in a minute. So we'll put this on the camera now. So it also has, which I thought was a nice feature, there's a hole in the bottom of the G9, a little tiny hole right by the HDMI port. That's at the bottom. So the actual plate has a pin on it, which actually locates in that hole, like that. Oh, hang on. So sorry, this is a bit different to the GH5 one. So you've got to actually slide out the arm to get to the Allen key to lock it into the bottom, which is a bit bizarre, but okay. I guess they're trying to make their products better and better. Now, Really Right Stuff are an American company, American-made products too. So you are getting really good quality. And all of their products are made from bullet aluminium, not cast. So you're going to get the strength and the durability of bullet aluminium. Now, so the Allen key just goes back in there, disappears, held in by 2 magnets. So there's the plate. Now, I'm just gonna grab a tripod. So we're gonna use my little pocket tripod from Really Right Stuff. So the L plate will lock in like that. Okay, and it's solid. Okay, so you can move the camera around and lock it where you want. Now the nice thing is, normally if you're gonna go portrait mode, you're gonna turn the camera to there and it's on the side. Now the problem is, your lens has changed from where it was. The actual center point of the lens has changed, it's dropped down here. Plus it kind of makes everything more unstable and it's more difficult to see into the camera. The good thing of an L plate is the plate on the side actually bolts in like that. So it actually keeps the camera, the center of the lens, in exactly the same place, which means you're not actually changing the photo you're taking. So you're just going from portrait to landscape, and it's based like that, and it's solid. It's not going to go anywhere. That's what an L plate does. Now, another feature of this L plate, which is the same as the GH5. Where's the Allen key? There it is. You want to do the L plate part. Now, you want to do this so you can get to all the terminals on the side of your shooting video. So the actual L plate part that moves from the bottom plate, you can actually get to all the doors and everything else in there. So you can actually get to the HDMI port and everything else. But the other feature that I showed you when I showed the GH5 one, the same with this, it actually gives you a handle. It gives you a small cage style grip. So you can hold the camera with 2 hands and get a much more steadier shot when you're shooting video. And the G9 shoots really good video. I would say the autofocus is much closer to the GH5S, which this is being shot on, in full autofocus mode. This is face tracking autofocus mode. Steps out a little bit every now and then, but I can kind of live with that. This is almost the same. It's better than the GH5 for autofocus. And the 4K video out of this camera is amazing. It is really good. So that's the L plate. And again, I'll put a link down below on where you can get this. I think BH Photo have them in stock, and so does Really Right Stuff. So that's the L plate. We'll put that away for the minute, and then I'll show you the next product. The other good thing of an L plate, before I go on to the next product, if you drop the camera, this is going to protect the camera. It's kind of a 50-50 chance. You could drop it, hit that way, it can hit that side, but you've got a 50% chance it's going to protect it. It's a cage on one side. So, put that on there. So we're going to put this on here now. So, okay, so we'll change that around. Okay, now, the next product, I'm going to put these arms out because it's quite a big lens for this tripod. Okay, right. And we'll balance that back. Right. The next product, I'll put that to the side at the moment, is a Joby product. Now, I use Joby GripTights. There's a GripTight right there shooting on the B camera. And there's a C camera over there, which I'm testing as well. But that's the GH5, and it's probably going to go completely off focus. Okay, so this is the Joby GripTight Mount Pro. Now, this is designed to go onto a tripod to hold your phone. Now, this is probably the best phone holder that I've seen, because the one I normally use is this Frankenstein thing that I made, which is here, but it's too narrow. It doesn't really grip the phone. And when you're using an iPhone 10, which is like $2,000 in New Zealand, yeah, that's a little bit worrying. So basically, this is designed to go onto tripod. So what I've got here is a cold shoe mount. This is a zoom cold shoe mount. It's probably the most low profile one I can find. So that would screw in. And we'll lock that in there. Now, then this will go on the camera like so. And then you get fully adjustable. Your phone goes in there. So that's basically there. That gives you a monitor for your camera. And again, like I said, it's the thing of all this extra stuff does add a little bit of extra weight. But the fact that I can... So with the Joby GripTight Pro, you actually get a monitor from your phone, And with the Really Right Stuff outplate, you get a grip. So you basically get quite a nice little setup for video. And again, because you've got your phone in your pocket all the time, you've got a monitor with you all the time. I do use a SmallHD focus with the HDMI cable, which I'm actually using at the moment on the GH5S. That's great, but it's quite a big monitor. This, for just run and gun situations, this is a great little B camera. The video is almost as good as the GH5 and GH5S, but they're better. They're that little bit better. But again, having the outplate on there gives you this small cage. And again, it doesn't add much to the actual camera. So I hope you've liked my 3 top items, accessories to buy for the G9. These have made my G9 a lot better. And it will improve the usability of your camera. It gives you more function to your camera, which is what you want. For what you pay for these cameras, you want to get the most you can out of it. And the nice thing with the Really Right Stuff outplate is it's good for photography and video. And again, with the Joby GripTight, I keep forgetting the name. This is great, not just for video, but also for photography, because you can use the remote app from Panasonic, and you can actually control the camera from the app. So if you're doing landscapes, you get a lot more control, and you're not actually pushing the shutter button, you're just touching the button on the actual screen, and it fires a shot. And you actually get a much bigger screen, especially if you've got an iPhone 10 or an iPhone 8 Plus. I think that's the big one. So I hope you liked this, and please remember to subscribe, like the video, because it's a good video. If you dislike the video, then fine. But if you have any questions or want to leave a comment about these items, please do, and I'll do my best to answer them. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon.